Welcome back to my channel, and today we have Vio on the podcast, and we're all going to talk about how much does Bali actually cost in 2023? Do you even want to move here? What adventures can you get into in Bali?
How much does it actually cost? Can I still live here on an affordable or like in a lower budget?
Explore the island and much more. So who is this video for?
This video is for people who actually want to move to Bali, but they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I have enough money, if I have like enough monthly income to actually make a living here, because Bali is getting so expensive. It's insane.
Yes, in just a second, we'll probably dive deeper into the new pricing in Bali, how much everything costs here. So just stay here with us till the very end, and we'll reveal some extra little bonuses and tips that you can use to actually come here and make it work for you.
So we both actually met in 2018 on Bali, which is like an eternity ago by now. And oh my God, like I remember I was living in Bali off a budget from like $500 to max $700. Do you think that's still possible?
I would say, yeah, it's hilarious because when I came to, I had $300, $400 a month. And the thing is, I think it still works nowadays, but the standard of living has definitely decreased with COVID hitting. Now there's so many people, just an influx of people coming to Bali, and we have a housing crisis.
Yeah.
We have a big housing crisis in Bali right now.
Absolutely.
So would you recommend anyone to come here to Bali right now with a budget of $400, $500? What can you even get living here for that budget? Let's say I have $400, $500. Where should I start? I'm coming to Bali. Where should I live? How does that look like? Let's go really in detail and show everyone what they can do step by step to get a place here and how to get a place here.
Absolutely. I think I would look to like move in an area that's not as popular. Like I would definitely not say in Canggu, because Canggu and like all the surrounding areas will be too expensive. You would literally be staying in a hostel and sharing your room with 10 other people. If you want to do that, hey, you go for it. But I would probably recommend staying in an area that's like a little bit more outside. You will have a drive into the bubble or like into the heart center, but that's fine. You will be saving a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Which areas would you recommend?
That's a good question. I think Sese is now on the rise, but the prices are still a little bit lower over there. And then maybe looking back at Robocan and things like that, like the areas, they still have everything to offer, a bunch of cafes and gyms and all of that. You're not going to be like somewhere like in the middle of nowhere. So you're still going to be surrounded by a city and a lot of people and a lot of hustle bustle, but it's not going to be the heart center of Canggu. But I think Robocan is also a lot more affordable than Canggu is.
Yes, 100%. And I think also I lived in Mungu for a while.
Yeah,
it's a little bit up north. And you find something there for really cheap still. Yeah. I also know in Uluwatu, I have a lot of friends that are still coming just to surf in Uluwatu and just live the life. They staying in a hostel and they paying, back then it was literally like $10 a night. Now it's $30 to $50 a night, which is still cheap compared to US or Europe.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, I recommend, or we recommend these areas that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
And how would the room look like? What do you expect? Like you're coming inside Indonesia and you are looking to stay somewhere, and what do you see when you enter the hostel or hotel room, or in Indonesia we actually call it homestay?
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like I never seen such a big gap and like such a big difference in variety when it comes to living as I've seen in Bali, because you literally could get like a hostel that looks pretty shitty and run down, but then you get like the fanciest villas like you've never seen anywhere in the whole world, right? Like the variety is just so big. So you probably, like if you are looking to stay in like a hostel kind of ish vibe, like in a guest house or homestay, it's probably going to be literally just like a room with a bed with an AC. All of the places have an AC luckily, and you will get a wardrobe and a private bathroom and maybe like a table where you can like work from. So it's pretty simple and basic, but that is all you need, at least what I would say. Yeah,
same. And you can also imagine if you walk into the room, like it's literally, it's not going to be fancy. Like you see on Instagram, all these fancy houses, villas, they are expensive right now in Bali. So just to give you an example, like we're like looking at villas the other day to like do something for Christmas or New Year's, something fancy. And I look in Uluwatu, which is like the surf town, like the very nice beaches. And it's literally like $5,000 to $10,000 for a 3-bedroom villa, which in COVID times and even before would have been something like $1,000, $2,000. And even the homestays.
Yeah, even the homestays.
They're like $80 now per night. And I was paying $10 when I first came to Indonesia. Yeah, do you think after Christmas and after this influx of people that just want to go crazy here in Bali, prices will go down again?
I hope so, but I'm so sure it won't. I just know for a fact that will just keep on rising because A, people keep on coming, they won't stop, and B, it's just like supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
Like people come, they pay for it, so why the hell would the landlords be like, oh yeah, you know what, let's like lower the prices again? That doesn't make any sense from business perspective. So no, the prices will keep going up. I don't know if they eventually will stop from keep on creeping up anymore, but like they will definitely be rising. We haven't reached the top yet.
Yeah.
Like we haven't. Like they literally rise like all the time. And it's funny because I went to a cafe the other day and there were like, actually there was a meeting of landlords and it was so funny because they were literally talking about exactly that.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, literally like my one-bedroom villa, you know, the one that's not so nice anymore. There's like construction around it everywhere. Like I thought no one would rent it, but hey, I'm getting like what I used to get for a month. I get it for weekly now. And I'm like, this is exactly the point. Like people pay for it. So of course, why would they not raise the prices?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think my perspective is a little bit similar, but I would say after Christmas, like after New Year's, prices will go down a little bit.
I mean, it's the craziest month. It's always like the busiest month because like it's cold in Europe. People come here for summer vacation and also
Australia.
Christmas. A lot of Chinese people come during this time as well. So like I know like December is the most expensive month of the year probably.
Yeah.
But so they will go down like in comparison to like the festive season, but they will still like in comparison to like all the years before, they will still be a lot higher.
Just going off of what you just said with the prices not going down really in the future, I think it's in fact true because Bali is a third world country that is actually, Bali is like a place in Indonesia, right? So just in Bali, we're in a huge housing bubble. That means like in a third world country, being in a position like this, like it just rises so much faster. Like I think in the past 5 years since we met, Canggu is not the same anymore.
No.
And I want to blend in a before and after here so people can actually see.
I actually filmed a shortcut the other day and like I also filmed it like a few years ago. What happened?
It's
like
insane.
literally,
Insanity.
it's turning into a village. It's not a shortcut anymore.
From rice fields, beautiful view to
houses,
Stinky
almost
town.
houses. Yeah, it's insane, and it happens so fast here. That's like what scares me the most. Like it happens so fast. If you would do the same thing in, let's say, London or whatever, like it would take like decades to actually develop into this. But this just happens like over months. Like,
like you live in a neighborhood and you don't have
any neighbors.
Maybe 1 month later, you go on vacation to your family, you come back, everything
you have 10 neighbors.
You have 10 neighbors, 10 new places. It's literally insanity. But that's why so many investors are coming in currently as well. And that's why the prices are expensive compared to what it was before. Still cheap though. So Americans that come here, my friends, they just came from Phoenix. They're looking at the villa prices. Oh, 10K a month for a villa like this? Oh, cheap. Right? Because in the US, it would be 100K a month or something like that. But for us living in Bali, this is not the usual price. Yeah. So definitely when you come here, you should try to find a good deal, look for a while, and hopefully you get lucky.
Yeah, and I would also say I recommend actually like closing yearly rents or like yearly deals because then you get so much more discount. Like for example, you and me, right? Like you just save so much money doing that. But then of course you need to be sure to want to stay here for a year.
Yes.
And it's a big commitment in Bali because you're not really protected by the law as much. Of course, make sure you have a contract and things like that, but it's just not the same as in the West. But I think that's definitely a great place to start.
Yeah. And for the people that are on a budget and want to move here, or maybe just starting out, I don't know, in business and they don't have a lot of capital, or maybe they just want to live like a healthier, fitter life here in Bali and don't have that much money. I do know for a fact that there's places in surrounding areas of Uluwatu, surrounding areas of Canggu that are maybe 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It's not going to be that nice, but you can get that for about $6,000 a year. And
that's cheap.
Yeah, that's cheap. That's cheap. It's not going to be that nice or what on Instagram, but hey, it's all about make that first step. And for my clients, for example, it's always very important that they have a place where they can focus and also don't spend that much money. In the US, it's very expensive. I do recommend it. We started out like this. We slept in a hostel for probably months or years before we were able to afford a house. So, what would you say? What do you recommend for the people that don't have that much money yet and want to move to Bali?
I think actually Bali is a great place to start because besides the renting prices, everything else is like a lot more affordable than in the West. For example, like going out for food, like cooking your own food and things like that is a lot cheaper. So like you can definitely save a lot of money on that. But also don't get too intrigued by getting lattes out all the time because it definitely does creep up and you will have a high bill at the end of the month. Watch your budget. Just make sure to track your money and your expensive. That helps me always a lot because if I wouldn't track my money, I literally would have no idea what I would spend it on. So that's actually super, super helpful. Like by tip number one, if you want to make a living off like a small budget, track every single penny that goes out. Like that helps so incredibly much. And when it comes to, you already said that there's so many areas that are possible to live cheaper. And the good thing about Bali is there's so many people who can inspire you to actually grow your business.
Yes.
That's a great thing. Like I've never seen it anywhere else in the whole world, like literally where people share their value and knowledge that's worth probably millions.
Yes.
Like they will give you a tip, just like you randomly just meet a stranger in a cafe, they're just gonna say one sentence, so you can work from this for like literally months.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna provide so much value to you and your business, especially when you're just starting out yet. Yeah. It's just that's the most value probably I've gotten like from
Bali.
The community here.
Yeah,
Literally.
Yeah. That's true. I think we need to talk about this more. Like the community here in Bali is unlike anywhere I've ever been. I literally went everywhere to find out if I wanted to live in Bali or not. I went to Tulum, I went to Puerto Rico, I went to literally all over the world, and it's Bali. And you said it's the community. For example, do you want to talk about a nice gym experience? How's going to the gym in Bali, and what does it have to do with the community and business?
So it's funny that you mentioned this, but because whenever I usually go to the spa, I'm like, I know it's not going to be the most relaxing moment of my day because I'm just going to talk about business. But I love that. I love the fact of like the social people here that literally just share their value for free.
Yeah.
It's just like you literally meet strangers that are probably like millionaires and they just treat you like you're the same. And I love that. They don't care like how much money you have, how much money you make. They're just like, hey, you know what? Like I made my business into, I don't know, like an 8-figure business. Let me help you do the same.
Yeah.
Like in the West, everyone's going to be like, oh, I can't share my tips. Like otherwise you're going to make as much money as me. I just have to keep it for myself. Whereas here, like they're literally giving you like their top 10 or like the top 5 like secrets of their business. It's
you don't get that anywhere else. Like you go in the sauna and it's not like people that are a little bit like chubby or
this fit here, guys.
Yeah, everyone's fit. You know exactly who are the tourists and who are the people that live here. Because the people that actually live here, we're all on a health trip.
Yeah, the health consciousness is big here, and that's what I love about it as well. Yeah, it helped me so much to be so much more dedicated to my health goals too.
Yes,
it's insane.
Yeah, and just in terms of fitness and eating the right foods, like 100% recommend to move to Bali for that. If you want to break out of the matrix, actually, like out of your society, out of your little town, you have to expand your horizon. You have to go somewhere else.
Okay, let's go a little bit deeper on like the price and the breakdowns of it because I feel like people are like really curious, like how much am I going to spend on this? How much am I going to spend? We covered rent, I feel like, but let's talk about, because obviously rent is not the only expense you will have. You will also have to rent a bike or like maybe get a Gojek and things like that. So what is your viewpoint on it?
So yeah, I would like to break it down in like separate things. So maybe we can just share how much we both pay and then maybe another friend. I would say the daily expense, if you want to eat out every single day. So I personally order food in every single day. I never cook for myself.
And I'm the exact opposite, so that's perfect.
Yes, exactly. I would probably spend about $15 to $20 a day eating out every single day. And you can obviously do that cheaper. When I first came to Bali, I was eating nasi goreng. It's just literally rice with some veggies. And that cost me 50 cents to $1 per portion. So I actually had a whole month I saved up for Hawaii and I was broke as fuck. 1 month, I was living off of $2 a day for food. And I'm not like, I went to the shittiest little, we call it a warung, with Ibu, which is like the mom that cooks here in Bali. I would say you can actually live from 100 if you're really budgeting to me spending $20 a day. How about you when you shop groceries and you actually want to cook?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Unlike you, I actually don't go out to eat as often, definitely not on a daily basis. More of a weekly or like a monthly occasion for me, just because I love cooking. You know me, we actually lived together for a month. Like I cook every single meal because I enjoy it so much. It's like my little break from work. It's like therapy for me.
And you're so good at it.
I truly enjoy it. Like it brings me so much joy. So I do that every day. And like I order like half of my groceries organic, and then the other things I usually get from like the market. And I would say on a weekly average, I spend maybe like about $20 to $30 probably on my groceries.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
I buy like Whole Foods mainly. So
where do you shop? I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
People think there's no grocery stores here or anything. So
there's actually supermarkets, but I don't really use them much. Like I use them for staples like rice and things like that. But like I don't get my fresh food from the grocery stores because they actually have bule prices, and bule means foreigner.
White people.
Exactly. So the supermarkets are actually all made for us, right? Yeah. They're not made for. If you go into a local town, they won't even know what a pepito is, and pepito is like the supermarket out here. So that's funny. But you can go to like local markets, and they have like fruits and and vegetables for super cheap. And that's where I get like a lot of my fruits and veggies. And I also order some of them organic, which is like slightly more expensive. But again, if you wanted to do it like as cheap as possible, local market is like the way to go. And one little tip, learn some Bahasa phrases so you can negotiate, because then you will get the local prices. If they see this is a tourist, he or she doesn't have any clue how much the things cost, you will probably get
Well, you get 10x from what you usually pay.
you get the bullet price. But if you speak like some phrases in Bahasa, they will like happily give you the normal price as well.
Yes, correct. Okay, so we covered food. Any other ways to eat here in Bali? I think that's mainly it.
Oh,
what
like
you
eating
expect.
out or Gojeking is like the same.
Yeah, maybe we talk about that, because like Gojek is literally the biggest hack. I can't even say it, but like it is so amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny because like a lot of people think it's ordering food like Uber Eats. We have that too, but no.
Let's maybe start like, what is Gojek?
It's basically like Uber, but like for so many more things. Gojek literally has everything. It has Go Massage. You can order a massage. It has Go Cleaners. You can order a cleaner. It has Go Send. You can shop. Like the Gojek can do your groceries for you. You can like literally write him a list, being like, hey, I want like onions and whatever, and he will go to the supermarket for you and buy everything. Like.
Yeah, also just transportation. If you want to go on an adventure, like you order a Gojek to get from A to B.
Yeah.
It is so convenient. I think I've never lived in a third world country that had this type of convenience.
Yeah.
I would even say I went to the US lately, like a year ago, and it's so inconvenient to live in the US. Like,
really?
It's hard. Like, I have to leave the house. It takes 30 minutes, an hour to even get to, like, maybe getting some food. Whereas here, I'm like, yo, Gojek, order, pay 50,000 rupiah, which is like $5, to bring me something from the other side of the island that I want to maybe eat or receive, like clothes.
Yeah.
I do my clothes shopping. Yeah, we need to talk about that too. But yeah, it's literally the hack. When I first got here, I didn't know what Gojek was or how to use it. And I think I made my life really hard. Like tourists here walking from A to B, and you're just like, they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Gojek, guys. Check out Gojek.
Yeah.
It's change your life.
And Gojek is still affordable.
Yeah.
It's still cheap. So
Super
I love that.
affordable.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, how about like how much do you spend on your bike, for example? You have a car out there.
Yeah.
I didn't know you still have your car. So you have a car and you have a bike. So how much do you spend on that?
Yeah, for my car, I got COVID prices too. I have it for 2 years now, and I'm renting it monthly. So it's not my own car, and it's a little shitty car because the streets are really small. But it's automatic, so I don't have to stay in traffic and hold the clutch and stuff. I'm paying 2.5 million. That is 150,000 US dollar. No, that's...
My God! That would be a lot for your car.
Just kidding. It's 150 US dollars. Yeah, that's what I'm paying, 150 US dollar monthly for my car. I think now it's probably more like 250. And you want to go with the local people too. Like, you don't want to rent from Sixt or those big...
Do they even have that here?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
Yeah, in the airport.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so don't do that. If you need a car, happy to give you the contact. Just ask me for it on Instagram. But yeah, for my bike, I pay 1.9 million rupiah.
It's like almost 2 million, so it's $120. 120.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely pay overpriced. So that's usually not what I pay for bikes or have ever paid for my bike.
Yeah.
Crazy.
This is definitely a lot.
This is okay. So if you pay that price, you know, you got bullet price.
But this is the normal price on the market now.
Yeah.
This is the normal price. I'm very lucky. I've been like renting with my guy for 3 years now. Like I supported his family during the pandemic and all this time. So like he's happy to give me a bit more of a discount. Yeah. But I know for a fact.
How much are you paying?
I'm paying 1.3.
Okay.
But,
and Max, also a bigger, nicer one.
But you won't get this price anywhere in the market, guys.
Yeah.
Like literally. And I'm only getting this price because I'm paying like several months always upfront. Yeah. So don't even look for my price. You won't get it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And we have the nice scooters too. Like they're a little bit bigger and more comfortable for like driving around and stuff.
I remember during the pandemic, like the NMAXs were like 750K. Like,
yeah, it's cheap. Half the price,
what
literally.
the fuck? It literally changed so much. Yeah.
And I know for anyone who doesn't have that much right now, you can rent a little bit, not shittier, but like older.
Just like a little bike, yeah.
For 500, 600
really?
A month. Yeah, like the Varios.
Really? Yeah. We were trying to find this price. We couldn't find it anywhere.
Maybe not in Canggu. Uluwatu still.
Canggu definitely not, yeah. That's actually a great hack as well, because like in Canggu, you won't get cheaper price. Like none of the people go down because they just know someone will rent it for a higher price. Yeah. So maybe that's a great hack, actually, like rent it from another area. Yeah,
so they can.
And then you can just obviously bring your bike to Canggu if you live in Canggu. That's actually so smart.
Yeah, I know a lot of my friends back then, even they would rent from in the middle of Denpasar, the city, and then bring it here.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's really smart. I never thought about that.
Yep, here we go.
Pro tips here, pro tips.
Okay, that's transportation. We already covered Gojek. From one part to the other part of the island is maybe, I don't know, $20, $30, something like this. And it's a long way. It's like a 3-hour drive. Yeah. So totally worth it.
And like short trips are usually 10 to 15K, which is like $1.
Yeah.
If you go like from your house to, let's say, the supermarket, it's going to be $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very affordable.
Yeah.
What other prices or other expenses do we have?
Maybe we can talk about gym.
Yep.
Because
gym.
that's like kind of crazy out here.
Yes. Okay. What gym options do we have? How much do they cost? I know you tried a few of them.
I tried a lot of gyms, yeah. We are usually or currently at the most expensive gym on the island.